Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Dip Dipianco. Watch the game live in our past episodes on demand on the Pilipinas Live app.
All right, so let's get started. Welcome to the game once again. It's been a wild match of gambits and pawns over at the women's chess tournament, with one team bagging 3 of 4 overall awards in the entire competition. Now with us today is the FEU team that reclaimed their 6th crown, their first in 4 years. Joining us are champions Jasmine Tejada, Women's National Masters, all of them by the way, Vic Lyson Derotas, Rookie of the Year, Mage Sebastian, and this season's MVP, MJ Tan. Ladies, welcome to the game. Thank you very much for joining us. Can I just say they have so many medals.
This is theirs again.
No, this is all their trophies. They have so many medals. They have extra ones for us, but we're not gonna let you wear it. No, wear it. No. It's okay. Please don't. Jasmine, I want to start with you. Kasi first time in 4 years na nakakuha kayo ng kampeonato. What is the feeling that finally, because if I'm not mistaken, last year mo na ata, or because you're taking masters, right? How does it feel to finally get it back after 4 years?
Sobrang fulfilling. Kasi alam mo yung pinaghirapan mo, nagbunga lahat. Kasi nung last championship, nung first year college pa ako, tapos championship ulit ng first year ako sa masters. So, sobrang fulfilling niya sa akin.
Ilipat natin yung tanong kay Mage, no? Rookie of the Year. Same question, it's your first year with FEU here sa chess team. Already champion kayo, no? Hindi ka ba na-pressure dahil ikaw yung isa sa mga bata sa team ninyo?
Actually, pressured po ako since pinakabata. Bata lang yan. Pero, yes pa, inalay lang po namin yung laro namin. Every game kay God. Like, sinasabi po ng team namin lahat kung para sa atin. And binigay po ni God kung ano yung deserve po talaga namin.
MJ, congratulations, MVP and future accountant.
Yes.
My goodness, overachiever. But MJ, when you take a look at yung MVP win mo, first of all, nagulat ka ba that yan yung nakuha mo, an MVP award, an individual award here, in addition to yung championship na nakuha ng FEU?
Yes po, kasi hindi ko talaga siya in-expect. Kasi nasa mindset lang namin na as long as we get the champion title, okay na po yun. And yung MVP is super duper blessing na po siya for me.
Glycen, may isang playing year ka pa, right? For FEU or dalawa? Ano pa ba?
Apat.
Apat pa? Wow. Maling-mali ako kasi ganun sila kagaling, di ba? Kakasimula lang nila sa chess. But Glycen, nakita mo ba yung progression with your teammates from last season to this season? Did you see that, okay, kaya namin mag-champion and beat the defending champs yung NU? Nakita mo ba yun?
Yes, I wasn't able to play for 2 years. So I was able to see ano yung progress ng mga previous na members ng team and sa team namin ngayon. And I can really say na dati pa, nakakayanin, nakaya siya. And thankfully, yun nga nangyari, nakaya namin. Kasi I trust my teammates and we can do it.
Ano sa tingin mo yung difference this season compared to the past? You were observing, sabi mo, you missed 2 years, you were observing your team. Ano yung meron this season that really sparked that change in your team na led you guys to be the champions?
I guess, my teammates sa past, they were very dedicated also. Pero we can say na yung mga teammates ko ngayon, mas better in strength. Yun talaga yun. Kasi kahit anong sabihin mo, mas magaling talaga. And the trust sa teammates na kakayanin. And
Jasmine, when you take a look at this entire group, this team, did you feel that even before yung competition, na championship caliber yung grupo na to? Because again, you've won, you've lost, but when did you feel na okay, this could be different in this season?
Okay po. To be honest po, ang difference is naglaro po si Glycen at si MJ po. Yun po talaga yung nag-game changer sa amin. Kasi since nga hindi po nakapaglaro yung dalawa naming superstar po kasi namin yun eh. So since hindi sila nakalaro, medyo nag-crumble onti yung team namin that time. Kaya yun nga, sabi nila yung trust, hindi siya ganun kabuo dati. Pero since ngayon, sobrang tumaas yung moral namin nung nalaman namin, oy, makakalaro na silang dalawa. Tapos sobrang buo ng team, lahat ng lineup, Women National Master, lahat. Kaya sabi namin, kayang-kaya namin itong season na to ngayon. So, ibang-iba siya.
Puntahan natin yung game changer na si MJ, no? Ikaw, ito sigurado, Hindi. Meron ka pa. Si Jasmine yung one playing year na lang, di ba?
Apo.
MJ, medyo matagal ka na maglalaro pa, no? Did you expect this MVP type of performance heading into this season for you personally dahil nakapag-prepare ka ba? Do you think your preparation was enough to get you that MVP
At
award?
grabe yung pagka-hype sa'yo.
Oo.
Thank you for the hype, ha? Pero for the preparation po, as in, buong team naman talaga, nagbuhos ng effort nila. Halos every day and super late na kami nakakauwi ng dorm for this. Kaya for the MVP title din, siguro deserve.
Deserve.
Tsaka yung champion, deserve.
No, that makes sense. Mage, Rookie of the Year, coming into a group na sobrang stacked yung lineup. May pressure ba yun on your part considering that, okay, mga Women's National Masters, yung buong lineup, there you had the eventual MVP part of your group. May mga veterano din kayo in this group. Did you feel any pressure going into yung tournament na to?
Sa paglalaro po ng chess, may pressure talaga. Every game, every move. Pero kinip ko lang po in mind na kaya namin to. Since from rin po, champion team din po ako, FEU de Le Mans, high school ko po. Naging MVP po ako last time. So parang itong team na to, may tiwala ko dito na kami na to, malakas to.
Yung gusto ko yung confidence nila lahat eh. Like it really shows.
Nag-champion kayo this season, but balita namin, next semester, may inclusion of Blitz and Rapid Chess. How does this change the landscape, I guess, of the tournament, Glycen, for you?
I can say na it's, dumadagdag siya kasi I feel like, yung pagkakalam ko, madadagdagan ng player also. Yung event na yon. So, it brings more inclusion, magdadagdag pa ng mga benefits for other players na makakapaglaro talaga sila ng UAAP kasi maraming hindi nakapaglaro sa team namin. So, parang mas nakakatuwa, mas nakaka-thrill palalo na may ibang event pa na kaya mong bawian.
More opportunities for sure. Just, what would it take to repeat? Because I know na, okay, we're here celebrating your win, but competitors will always want to win more. What would it take to sustain yung success na to?
Siyempre, kailangan talaga consistency. Hindi porket natapos na yung season 86, wala nang season 87. So, siyempre, katulad last year, after mismo ng season 85, diretso training talaga, as in hanggang gabi. Katulad nga po sabi ni MJ, hanggang gabi, hanggang minsan absent na kami sa klase, pero sige, kaya namin to. Ipupush to. So,
Isa pang championship para sa final year ni Jasmine. Diba?
Why
Kaya
not?
rin.
Why not? Ladies, congratulations once again. I had a lot of fun today because we could hear clanking of metal sa mga mic, and that's because ang dami yung medals. Congratulations and good luck for next season. We can't wait to see what could happen then. Maraming salamat.
okay pa. See you next season po. Thank you.
And after the break, we'll move over to the crucial matchup between Adamson-Ateneo in the UAAP Final Four race in the men's basketball tournament. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. One ticket, two teams. There's just one last spot left in the UAAP Men's Basketball Final Four, which brings us to the all-important matchup between Adamson and Ateneo. Two teams who fought their way through crucial wins, but only one can prevail. Now, joining us to give us his full breakdown of our one and only playoff game of Season 86 is UAAP basketball analyst Aaron Black. Aaron, welcome to the game.
Hello guys, nice to be back.
Arguably, nobody expected this to boil down to Adamson and Ateneo for the fourth spot, right?
Yeah,
the last
definitely.
two birds standing here in the UAAP. Itong Adamson, they lost key players in Jerome Lastimosa, Joem Sabandal. Ateneo also had like a different lineup this season. How difficult it is first to put into context to play with a roster that's constantly changing, especially for Adamson and Ateneo?
I think experience is a big factor in the UAP, and these two teams lost a lot of experience with the guys that graduated, and at the same time they lost some guys to injuries. Forcy Rodriguez did transfer.
Right.
So Ateneo right now is lacking a lot of experience in terms of, especially in guard play, and you see it in the Adamson side. Losing Jerome Lastimosa at the start of the season was very big for them.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I have to point out, Dip. I think they're the only birds standing because they are the only birds in the UAP.
Right.
Now that I think I could not let that go. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you take a look at these, some key pieces obviously missing for Adamson. But then when you take a look at the fact that it feels like they have this us against the world mentality because they feel like they should be part of this. Coach Nash mentioned in the past that they want to get rid of the quote-unquote default Final Four here. How dangerous is a team like that that feels that the world is against them, that they have nothing to lose, and that they should take down a team like Ateneo to make the Final Four?
Well, you said it perfect. They have nothing to lose. Nobody expected them to be here, especially when Jerome went down.
Yeah.
This team does it by committee. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
They remind me of the Memphis Grizzlies before with Zach Randolph and them. It's grit and grind. And I'd say Montebon would be their closer now, but as soon as Jerome went down, we didn't really know. So this team does it by committee. Coach Nash has done a great job with his team, and they're very dangerous.
And to put it into context, round number one, Adamson won against Ateneo via that buzzer beater by Vince Magbuos. Round two, Ateneo won 62-58, so it was also a close game. What will it take for the Blue Eagles to get this third matchup here for the fourth spot? What will they need to bank on for Coach Tab Baldwin?
Where they're going to have to rely on their veterans, champions. You have Kai Balunga, you have Chris Kuhn, you have Gio Chu, all these guys that were on those championship rosters from before. Their experience will come into play, being those champions. And of course, Coach Tab will be able to really help them in this game because of that experience. And if you look at it, 30% will not do it from the three-point line. I think they're going to have to shoot a lot better than that. Somebody like Jared Brown can probably get going for them, and we'll see about that. And on Adamson's side, you'll see they're last in the league in offense, but they do have the best defense in the league, so Ateneo have to be wary of their defense.
Yeah, the shooting percentage is not pretty for Adamson, well, in comparison to Ateneo. But then you mentioned the defense being a key factor here for Adamson. Now we're looking at the strengths of Adamson here. Allows 36% from the field in general, talking about the Adamson Soaring Falcons. How difficult will it be to stop a Ateneo team that's probably going to be extra prepared this time, even more than usual, because this is a playoff game. More prepared to handle what Adamson can throw at them?
Well, Adamson's been a great defensive team, not just against Ateneo, but against every team in the league. So I'm sure they'll be prepared as well for whatever Ateneo sets or whatever they have coming for Adamson. At the same time, knowing Coach Tab, he will have something under his sleeve to throw at Adamson, something they probably haven't seen, some new sets maybe and things like that for certain people. But Adamson's, once again, grit and grind, do it together as a team, is not only on offense but on defense as well. That will come up big in tomorrow's game.
Well, let's go back to the side of the Soaring Falcons. For Coach Nash, it's been a struggle to find a legitimate scorer. There's no guy that's averaging double digits for Adamson this season, but you listed two players that are key for them. Aaron, let's go first to the first one. The foreign student athlete, OJ Ojarikre. His numbers, 3.5 points, 8.4 rebounds, 1.6 blocks. Doesn't score a lot, but he does it on the rebounding and the defense for Adamson. But what do you think does he need to do in that game tomorrow against Ateneo?
Well, for OJ, he has to match up against Obasa. He has to negate Obasa's presence in the paint for them. He has to finish these easy baskets. He has to get blocks on the other end. He has to be very energetic tomorrow. Maybe grab 15 rebounds to be able to help them in tomorrow's game. But really be that presence for Adamson that when he does get the ball in the paint, it's sure 2 points.
Yeah, you mentioned our Adamson player, but let's move on to an Ateneo player first that you identified as one of the star guys, or guys who need to step up, rather. Interesting that you mentioned Mason Amos, because we know what he is. He's a stretch big. He spaces out the floor. He shoots well from beyond the arc.
Yep.
But we've also seen cases wherein Coach Tab would sub him out for defensive purposes. If Adamson attack him over and over again, especially on the defensive end, just how much tougher would it be for Ateneo to keep him on the floor? And will the positives of him being on the floor be better than the negatives that Coach Tab brings him out in the first place?
Well, you have to take the good with the bad with Mason. I mean, he's still young. He's still developing his defensive game. He does shoot 43% from 3, which does spread the floor for Ateneo, does open it up for their slashers. And on defense, I'm sure they will come up with some sort of scheme to help him out. But if I'm Mason, I'm looking to really, batten down the hatches tomorrow and make sure that I get stops and on my man so that I can stay on the floor and help my team.
Another guy that you listed here for Adamson is the savior from their last game, the guy who hit that game winner, the deep corner 3 against UE, Monty Montebon. Only his first year in the UAAP. Can he be that guy that will lead Adamson? Because we mentioned no double-digit scorer for them. But his average is close to 10 points. Can he be that guy, Aaron, for Adamson?
Well, so far he has been. He is their leading scorer. He did come up with that big 3 in the last game. He had 16 points and 7 rebounds, as we see his shot there. And for him, he has to be that guy tomorrow, because I'm sure this game is not going to be a blowout. This is going to be a close game, just like the 2 games in the regular rounds. And it will come down to probably him with the ball once again, looking to maybe win or tie the game.
On the other end, Kai Balungay is a guy that you mentioned here, and he's been one of the de facto leaders along with Kuhn. And I feel like you want him to step up even more here and really take control of this Ateneo team, especially towards the end game.
Yeah, for me, Kai has to be that guy tomorrow. He has to be that closer for Ateneo. If Montebon will be the closer for Adamson, Kai has to be that guy for Ateneo. He has to do it on both ends, and at the same time, he does rebound the ball well, but I feel like his points need to go up a little bit. It's a elimination game, and when you're that guy, you have to really step up.
For Coach Tab Baldwin, in all his seasons, the UAP so far, this is the lowest record that Ateneo has gotten. 7-7 in the elimination round. Should the Ateneans be worried tomorrow, or Ateneo will be the Ateneo that everyone knows against Adamson?
This guy's a biased.
Here we will definitely say Ateneo will be just fine tomorrow. At the same time, it's always tough playing against a team that has nothing to lose. So I'm just hoping we have a good game tomorrow, and
There you go.
I'll be biased and say Ateneo comes out on top.
Ooh. Yeah,
Nice take.
no, umamin siya that he was biased. Aaron, we really appreciate you joining us here and talking about the UAP.
Thanks
We
for
hope to
having
have
me.
you more often.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we'll give you today's wrap-up in the NBA when we return. Keep it here. You're watching the game. Welcome back. You're watching the game. It's time for another edition of the wrap-up as we look at some of the top stories in the NBA today. Now, we have to focus on the Chicago Bulls, who just pulled off a miracle win against Miami recently. But you take a look at the Bulls situation here, especially with Zach LaVine, because people are wondering where he's going to end up.
Yeah.
So, Dip, Pelicans for you? No? Sorry, not the Pelicans rather. But then you take a look at the fact that the Kings are interested in LaVine.
Yeah, I think
allegedly.
I think there was one game against Miami you mentioned.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine went out to the dugout immediately after the game, so he's clearly frustrated with his situation right now. With the Bulls. So I think the priority there is to really ship him out. But if the Kings will want to trade assets that are good for the Bulls, because granted, LaVine and DeRozan, they've tried it a couple of years now. It hasn't worked for Chicago, and I think bringing someone in from the Kings will help Chicago, especially that LaVine is not happy with the Bulls anymore.
Yeah, you also have to wonder how much they're willing to pay for LaVine, especially considering that if they do pay for LaVine, how much of a win-now move is that, and is that the right move?
I think he's worth it. I think he's worth it based on his averages, 21 points per game. 5 rebounds and 3 assists right now this season. So I think if he goes to the Kings, he will do a lot of help there and possibly light the beam.
Possibly.
There in California. But speaking of other guards, lipat tayo kay LaMelo, who has been balling here in the NBA. Do you think he's a top 20 talent, Pao? I have to ask you there.
Top 20 talent? I don't know, top 20 guards, yes, because there's only so many. But then, LaMelo Ball has been playing great. I think that to consider someone a top 20 talent, though, you need a bigger sample size. Look, maybe in the past 5 games, yes. But then if you're going to look at the entire season, we have to see how the numbers play out, if he can contribute to winning basketball. Charlotte have been up and down when it comes to their standings. And you have to figure out whether or not, if the numbers are empty calories. Because if you have a situation wherein he doesn't necessarily contribute to, or rather if it's not a team that's competing and you're getting those types of numbers, people might not take those numbers as seriously as they should.
Right, and his averages right now, 33 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7.8 assists. And just a while ago, earlier today, they beat the Celtics in overtime where he scored 36 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists.
He was amazing. He was amazing.
But today, I get your point. The question is it going to be sustainable? Right,
it's funny because he's figuring it out. And speaking of that, the question for a team-related one now this time is the Milwaukee Bucks, staying in the East here. Are they figuring it out here? Because Giannis dominated the Wizards. Okay, it's the Wizards, but they did dominate here. 42 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists for Giannis in that win. And Bucks are on a 4-game winning streak, and Damian Lillard in particular has averaged 28 points per game.
Now, I want to say no, but they beat my Mavs just the other day. So I think the Bucks are figuring it out with Giannis being himself the Greek freak, and Lillard is just getting more comfortable. Especially now with Chris Middleton in and out because of his injuries. He's stepping up big time for Milwaukee, so they can be a scary team.
Maybe so. But we'll find out as the season goes on.
We'll be watching and staying tuned for more NBA TV action. And you can watch that, of course, all the games in our show live and on demand on the Pilipinas Live app for just 149 pesos a month. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dip Dipianco.
And I'm Paulo De Rosario. This has been The Game.